A 5-day Nile cruise aboard the Salacia by Alice Phillips, American travel blogger. Day 1. Luxor, touchdown in the land of pharaohs. I landed in Luxor beneath the soft golden haze of a December afternoon, and despite having traveled extensively, nothing prepared me for the wave of warm air and ancient history that greeted me. A smiling rep from Memphis Tours was waiting for me at the airport, efficient, gracious, and instantly reassuring. By the time I stepped onto the elegant MS Salacia, my floating home for the next 4 nights, I was already enchanted. The ship exuded understated luxury, wide decks, polished wood, and the comforting hum of the Nile just beyond the railings. After a quick freshening up in my cozy cabin, I joined the others for lunch on board, still pinching myself. Then came the real magic. That first excursion took us to Luxor's East Bank. First, the Karnak Temple. I still can't find words for it. Towering columns carved with intricate hieroglyphics stretched into the sky like stone trees. It felt like walking through the dreams of a civilization too immense to comprehend. As the sun dipped lower, we wandered through the more intimate Luxor Temple. There was something so serene about being there at dusk, watching the temple glow amber while modern city life quietly buzzed just beyond. Day's impression. The moment I stood beneath Karnak's massive columns and felt tiny, that was when Egypt became real for me. Day 2. West Bank wonders and a sail to Edfu. I woke early, the gentle lapping of the Nile just outside my window. After a satisfying breakfast on board, we set off toward the West Bank. If yesterday was about grandeur, today was about mystery. The Valley of the Kings was silent, hot, and haunting. We descended into the tombs where ancient pharaohs had prepared for eternity. The colors, still vibrant after millennia, wrapped the walls in scenes of gods, afterlife journeys, and royal symbolism. It was awe layered on awe. The temple of Queen Hatshepsut struck a completely different tone, all symmetry and strength. It clung defiantly to the cliffs, a bold tribute to Egypt's most powerful female ruler. As a woman traveler, I felt a surprising pride standing in her presence. Back on board, we set sail for Edfu, drifting past timeless villages, waving children, and stretches of palm-fringed riverbanks. Lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner flowed into each other seamlessly, with that warm cruise rhythm kicking in. By evening, I was lulled by the gentle sway of the ship as we docked in Edfu. Day's impression, walking into a pharaoh's tomb where time seems frozen, was like touching the heartbeat of an ancient world. Day 3. Edfu and Kom Ombo, tales of gods and crocodiles. The day began with a visit to the astonishing Temple of Horus in Edfu, one of Egypt's best preserved temples. As our guide shared tales of Horus and Set, I imagined the gods themselves walking these very stones. The reliefs were so crisp and the scale so grand that it felt like stepping into a mythical film set. We returned to the ship and continued sailing south. There's a particular kind of stillness that the Nile holds in the afternoons. Birds gliding low, occasional calls from the shore, and the hum of a river that has witnessed it all. As the sun began to dip, we arrived at Kom Ombo, home to the unique temple dedicated to 2 gods, Sobek, the crocodile god, and Haroeris. I loved the duality of the temple. 2 halls, 2 sanctuaries, mirrored symmetry. We even visited the small crocodile museum, filled with mummified crocodiles that gave me both chills and giggles. Day's impression, watching the sunset from Kom Ombo, surrounded by golden stone and ancient legends, felt like sipping history through light. Day 4, Aswan's soul, Philae temple, and the unfinished obelisk. Our final full day took us to Aswan, a city with a heartbeat different from the others, more serene, almost poetic. First, we visited the unfinished obelisk, a massive granite structure lying in a quarry. Seeing the scale of it, nearly 1,200 tons, made me respect the sheer ingenuity of the ancients. If it hadn't cracked, it would have been the largest obelisk ever carved. Then came the Philae temple, set on its own island. We reached it by boat. The approach itself was surreal, with columns rising out of the river like a mirage. The temple is dedicated to Isis, and wandering its grounds, I felt wrapped in feminine energy, mysticism, and stories that echoed across the water. The evening was festive, with local entertainment on board, music, dancing, and laughter shared with fellow travelers who had become like family. Day's impression, that boat ride to Philae, gliding over still waters toward a sacred island, will live in my dreams forever. Day 5, farewell Aswan. This morning I had to say goodbye to the Salacia, to my cabin with its Nile views, and to a team that had made everything feel seamless. Breakfast on board was tinged with that familiar blend of gratitude and sadness that comes with every good journey's end. As we disembarked, I looked once more at the calm, unwavering river, the same Nile that had carried pharaohs, priests, lovers, and now me. Day's impression, leaving felt like waking from a beautiful dream, but one I got to live